Well, good Monday morning again. Another week gone by that fast. It seems to me like it should still be Wednesday last week. I remember when I was growing up, and I'm sure you all do too, and I was in school, and I used to stare at that big clock on the wall, and 1 minute going around the clock seemed like an hour. And think, oh, will this class ever be over? So, see my top. I've got my pants done. Jerry helped me figure out the hem. Perfect, perfect. I stood up on a chair, and he sat on a chair, and he was able to do it a lot easier than, you know, usually he has to get down on the floor. So, got that done. The pants are completely, totally done, and I like them very much. So, this is just what I put on to wear this morning with a different pair of pants. And then I tried these pants on to check the hem, which is perfect. And I decided I like this shape, up on the sides and down front and back. So my first assignment this morning is to figure out if I can take this blouse. Remember, it's not hemmed anywhere. Neck's not finished, sleeves aren't finished. And if it's long enough, and I think it is, I'm going to cut it so it's like this on the bottom. And then I might not even hem it up. I mean, it looks really, really nice with no hem because, as one of you mentioned, you need to leave it that long. And we won't say why. So, love my pants. I really do. I'm like, I can't believe I'm showing him my fat belly, but, and my formerly hips that used to have a waist. Now it looks like a box, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm healthy, I have arms, I have legs. Do y'all ever watch those people? Every once in a while something will come up in my YouTube feed about a child or somebody who was in an accident or a child that was born with terrible, terrible things wrong with their body. And I think I've told you before about the man that he was a young man, probably 19, 20-ish, maybe younger than that. And he was working on a road crew and on a busy highway, and the boss said, you need to go take that forklift and move it here or move it there or something. And the kid had never been on one before. Absolutely zero training. The boss just said, take that forklift and do whatever. And I'm sure it was a big forklift for highway construction, right? The kid, the very young man, got on the forklift, got out into the traffic, and some big truck came around and hit the forklift. Rushed off to the hospital. When he got out of the hospital, he had no arms, and his body was cut off just below his belly button. No genitals, no anything from there down, no arms, just a head and part of a torso. I would say, let me die, let me die, let me die. He said, let me live, I don't care if I'm a head on a plate. I think the Lord sends those YouTube videos to my feed so I'll quit feeling sorry for myself because my nose wants to run, I want to sneeze every 10 minutes, and my ankles swell. It's nothing, it's so nothing. I have a beautiful niece, married to my sister's second son. His name is Jeffrey. And I don't think they're even 50. They've got 4 kids, 2 are still in high school. So I don't even think they're in their 50s yet, maybe. But she's always been healthy, active, drove her daughter all over the place for aerobics or cheer or something that they do. Very, very involved with taking care of animals. I mean, last time I went to visit her, she had a deer in her living room, a baby deer, a baby chipmunk, I don't know what all. But she loves animals, takes care of animals, has animals of their own, lots of pets. Very, very good mother and wife. And just out of the blue, she suddenly got sick, and she's in the hospital right now, waiting for a heart transplant. How is this possible? How is it possible? She has gotten so bad and they're waiting for a heart. And she has something that requires her to have a special match. And so they did some serious operation on her already, where they've cut her open and put some kind of a drain or something into her heart that she has to, it's called LVAD if anybody's interested. And boy, she has suffered the horrible pain, and it's just turned their life into this whirlwind of, I'm sure, stress and concern. But I have to, when I see things like this, I just think, Joy, you're 72, almost 73. Your arms work, your legs work, your brain works. Oh, so much to be thankful for. So what? You finally developed the old age belly. Thank God there's nothing wrong with it other than it doesn't look very pretty. So, God forgive me. God forgive me. Truly. I mean, I was just as bad when I was 25 and had a great body, so. You know why? There's always something. I guess it's the magazines and the models. I don't know, whatever it is. But we've got to learn to be thankful with who we are. I have a friend. I have a very good friend, and she just loves herself. I have two, actually, that way. And they just love themselves. They don't care what they look like. Not that they're messy or sloppy or anything, but, you know, they don't have perfect bodies. They're older like me, and they just enjoy themselves. They enjoy their life, and they're not constantly worried about what they look like in their clothes. So I've got to get more like that. All right, I've got to get on to my first assignment. My second assignment is to put a binding on that Blue Escape quilt. And it's already 10:20 in the morning, so I've got to get busy. I dashed back for just a second. I found my pattern. It's this one. It is so helpful if you will cut out a square of your fabric and put it on your pattern envelope. And then you'll know what you made. And I've made this. You've seen it made this way with the stripes going the different ways. But this one is made obviously like what I have on. So, hot patterns. $11.89. I'm going to go change my new navy blue top to be like this. I know somebody will say you should have showed us how you did that. So the first thing I did was glue my material down some more because over the years it likes to come loose. Or maybe I didn't put enough glue on to start with is probably the problem. Okay, so I got that done. Then I pulled out my pattern piece, and this is the back. So what I'm doing is I'm folding the blouse I just made in half. So the back is on the fold and the front is on the fold. And I'm going to pin it together at the side seam, which I have not serged yet. I'm telling you, I just threw this blouse together so I could show you those pants. So I'm going to put this together as good as I can. I probably have 500,000 pins in this house. I bet you do too. I'm forever looking for them. How many pin cushions do you have? Oh heavens. Don't ever ask me to figure that out. Some things are just too hard. And that's one of them. Alright, so I'm pinning it together here on the bottom on the side seams because I'm fixing to cut these into that circle-y thing. See? So, then you got to figure out what's the back and what's the front. Yeah. So this is the front. Hello. Are you the front? I just made myself some half-calf coffee with some whipped cream. Mark it. Okay, so this is the front. So I'm going to take my white chalk and I'm going to put an F up here at the neck. Front. F. Front. That means I need the back because that's the piece I pulled out. So let's get the back arranged. We're not doing anything up here at the top. We just want to play like we're cutting it out, see, for the first time, even though it's already cut out and sewn together. Alright, First, I'm going to draw it. Now, this must be the front since that other one's back. Now, you know, look at what I did to this pattern to make it fit me. It looks like I went to an origami school or something. I know. But just think, if I didn't do those things to it, how awful it would be. What'd you just cut? I just cut off a piece of green paper that didn't need to be there. All right, so here's my curve. There is my curve. I'm going to line it up with the side seam, since the side seam's already in. Put that there, put that there, and now I'm going to draw it. I'm not going to cut it yet, I'm just going to draw it. Okay, so where's my cutter? Oh, I changed my blades recently, and they just cut terrible, cut terrible, cut terrible. I told Philly, I said, oh, I just hate using up these blades. They're so expensive, but this goofy blade doesn't cut, so I went and got another one. Well, when I took the one off that I had recently replaced, it turned out it was 2 blades stuck together. So if you put a brand new blade in and you have issues with it, check and make sure you didn't put 2 blades in. Oh, I want to cut this, I really do. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I'm going to be real brave. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So cute. All right, that's the front. Now let's do the back. And I'm just going to mark the curve to join with the back. And then I'm just going to keep on coming down. This will be a whole new pattern when I get through here. What am I doing now? I'm moving the curve over toward the side seam because it was only going to have a little bit in the front that was straight. And this has a pretty big straight place and then curves up. So that's just what I'm doing. If I ruin this blouse, I've got fabric to start over, thank goodness. You can't really tell what it's going to look like if you don't cut it. We'll go put it on Lucy and see how it looks, huh? All right, it now has a curve. It has a curve. It's very excited. So there we go. I'll put it on for you. Hold on, close your eyes, close your eyes. We're going to change our shirt. You all want to know if you need a mannequin? You are a mannequin. Okay, you're seeing it before I see it. I have the neck done, the sleeves done, the hem done. Now the hem, as you saw, it has to be very narrow. So, since it was straight to start with, and I planned on a 2-inch hem, that would have been fine. But when I curved the sides up, because I decided I wanted it that way, why, I'm not sure. It's taken me 2 or 3 hours. But I've got it good now, and I'm happy with it. I think, like I said, you're seeing it before I've seen it. It's 12:30. Jerry has gone to the skin doctor and to the physical therapist, and I'm all alone for lunch. So I'm going to go down and fix something real exciting, like maybe a bowl of cereal. Okay, I looked in my 3-way mirror. I was on my way down to have my cereal, but I had to look at it, and I have a tip. If you want to make a blouse that has this kind of hem on the bottom, use the pattern that has it in it already. That's a real good tip. So I'm binding the boat quilt, and somebody said, show us how you do the mitered corners. So the first thing you do is you make your binding. What I do is I cut out my 7 pieces, however many you need, and then before I do anything else, I lay them all out flat on my ironing board and I cover them with spray starch. Then I let them sit for a little while, 20 minutes. Then I go back and I iron them in half. I fold them in half and iron them in half. Then I hang them up on my long arm to dry. You could leave them on your ironing board to let them dry. Then I sew them together end to end, and I can't believe in this diagonal, it's really hard to see where I sewed them together. I sew them together, press them, press them, press them. Okay, so I'm starting at the bottom of the quilt. I've allowed myself a 12-inch overlap of the fabric, of the binding. So when it comes back around, it should come back across at least 12 inches. So this is my first corner. Now I'm not sewing it yet. I'm just getting it ready to sew. So when I get to the corner, I come to the edge, then I take the binding and I fold it up. I touch the corner right there, fold it straight up so it's at an angle right here on the corner. Then I fold it straight down. Will it stay this way when I sew it? Probably not. But it will allow me enough extra to go around the corner without me just wrapping it straight around. Okay, so that's the very first thing I do. Getting ready to bind a corner is I give myself the extra I need there. Then I keep going. I always join mine at the bottom. So, I made some bad mistakes on this quilt. It is a wonder I'm even finishing it. But you know, it's like everything else. You don't like it when you get through with it. But then, you know, when you come up the next day and you take it out of the garbage, then you like it again. And I use these little thingies, whatever they are. I think these come in different sizes. These are probably the smallest ones. And I go around and around the whole way. So this is how I start getting my binding on and preparing for a mitered corner. I hope that makes sense to the young lady who asked me. Oh my. Yeah, maybe my face doesn't look so bad if I hang my jowls down that way. I'll have to check that. I don't know if you can see this really good or not. It's late in the day and I'm tired. But I told you I'd show you how I do a corner. So the first thing I do is I figure out how wide I want my stitch here. I don't mean the length of it, I mean how far in do I want it. And in this case I'm coming in 3/8 inch because I'm working with 2.5 inch strips. So here I'm coming to my first corner. See my corner? There it is. And you're going to end up with extra. But at least you're not going to end up with not enough. That's what's important. Doing bindings is not my favorite thing because there's just a great big blanket in your face. Alright, so you know how I put the extra here at the corner. So here it is. Here's the extra. So I'm going to pull it straight and I'm going to sew it to my 3/8 inch mark. Now just in case that's not exactly, I'm going to get a measurer and I'm going to measure to my needle from the edge of my quilt. And it's actually a little bit less, just a hair less. Pull your little lever out, put it back in. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to measure from this edge in, up here at the corner. Up here at the corner, and I'm going to put a pin at that mark, which should be my exact seam allowance. Right there. So now I am going to sew, and I'm going to turn my stitch length down because I've got it on 3.0, and I'm going to turn it down because you want to go right to that pin, not past it, and not before it. You want to go right to it. Right to it. Take some of these pins out so you've got some binding to work with here. So there's my pin. I'm going to turn my stitches down to about 2.2. And when I get to where I think the pin is, I'm going to hand walk it. And if I have to, I'm going to back it up, which is what I did. And now I'm going to back stitch right there. Now I'm going to cut my thread. So this is what I've got. I've got my binding sewn to the edge. I've got 3/8 inch sticking out that I didn't sew. I don't have my lens turned around, so I don't know what you can see. And you need quite a bit to play with for this step. So just keep unpinning pins until you've got enough. So now you remember the corner, it's not a coroner, Joy, it's a corner. You're going to pull this up this way, away from the quilt, the opposite direction. This goes in, this goes out. And you're going to make it be a corner. Right there. See the corner? This is at the very, very tippy tip corner, right there. And this is wherever this makes a 90-degree angle right here. Boom. Then I'm going to fold it back down, just like that. You have to play with it. Right here, these pieces should be directly on top of each other, nothing sticking out. I'm very sneezy right now, so whew, I'm trying to do it without sneezing. I've got the air conditioner on and I don't think my nose likes it. Okay, so I'm fiddling. You see me fiddling, fiddling, fiddling. Now, if this doesn't come out right, you can always redo it. Now I'm going to take a straight pin. Instead of taking one of those clips, I'm going to take a straight pin. Ah, right there. A straight pin. Now, this side should be even. The binding even with the quilt. See? And then you've got your fold. I don't know what you can see because I don't have the monitor flipped around. And here it is on the back. Turn it around, we're going to go down the other side now. I started in about the middle of the bottom. This is the sand on my boat quilt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing my 3/8 inch seam allowance right here. Some people come in. I don't. I sew from the very edge. I don't know why people come in there. I don't. I sew from the very edge and I just keep going. See? You just keep on keeping on. And as you go, your binding gets stringier and stringier and ravelier and ravelier. At least mine does. Okay, so I'm going to back this up. And I'm going to show you the corner now. Play like I'm all the way around and I'm ready to flip this to the other side, okay? And here's my corner. I got to turn that so I can see what y'all can see. You fold your quilt over the corner and then you fold it over the other way. So you see the miter there. You're going to flip it around the other side. And when you do, you want to make sure that your fold on the opposite side goes the opposite way. So this fold is on this side. So we need this fold to be on that side. Now see, if I was not here at the sewing machine and I had this at the ironing board, it would be easy. So say this was all done, sewn down properly. There's one side of the miter. There's the other side of the miter. Well, hey everybody. I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. Yeah, Viv's been telling me she's been shopping at the Joann pattern sale. So good thing I'm not in Louisville right now. Or I'd be doing the same thing. No. I have to be a good girl. I've been organizing. If you could see my desk here, it's just completely covered with stuff, just stuff. You know, I'm sure you guys do it too. If I want to clean off this table, I take everything off of it and I put it over there on that table. Then when I clean that table off, I take everything off of it and I stick it over here on another table. So basically it never gets done. So today I have to tell myself, pick up one thing and put it where it goes. If it doesn't have a place, this is a cute little journal I bought years ago. It's a quilt journal to record your quilts. And I have way more quilts than are in this. You know, this is one that I made that I sold I made it for Jerry's mom. And I actually sold that one a couple years ago. Magic cubes. Oh, my magic cubes picture fell out. Good job, Joy. And then y'all know this quilt. You see it all the time. It must be my favorite because I never take it down. I made that in 2007. Strawberry Sundae. And then you know about my Bernhardt, back when we used to have a family. And the grandkids all drew a picture. What happened was I started out learning how to do paper piecing. And I was in a group. And the group was making bird houses. And we were supposed to make bird houses and trade them, and I did, but I decided to just make all my own bird houses. And then I had all these bird houses, and I thought, well, if you got bird houses, you need birds to live in them, right? So I made a bird representing each member of our family. And each of the 5 grandkids, except the littlest one, he was too young, drew a picture, and then I made a quilt block that was that child, and each one that drew a picture, I made a quilt block for that also. So that quilt makes me kind of real sad, so I don't put it up very much. What is this? There's the one I made, and the teacher hurt my feelings so bad. I just went home and cried, and I worked really hard. Because I was a brand new quilter, I had no clue what I was doing. And her class was supposed to be the super easy, any moron can make a quilt. And so the assignment was, make a quilt with a plain block and a pieced block. Well, I thought I did that. She went through the stack. Oh, this is Mabel's quilt. Isn't it absolutely marvelous and amazing? And this is Joanne's quilt. And oh my gosh, that is just fabulous. I can't believe how amazing it is. And look here at Mildred's quilt. Just awesome. Then she picks up mine. And she picks it up and she goes, what is this supposed to be? Oh, I wanted to dissolve and melt into the floor. I don't think I have ever been so wounded by a teacher. It's a wonder I ever made another quilt. And then y'all know my chickens, Chanticleer and Company. I need to finish filling up this. See, this is what happens. I think, oh, I'll pick this up and put it away. And then I look at it, and then I think, the whole book is empty. I've got to go put a picture of every single quilt in here. No, Joy, no. We're going to put it away right there. So one thing is put away. And then I have this book. You know I'm making a butterfly quilt. Well, a lot of you may not know I'm making a butterfly. Oh, no. See what happens? I'm making a butterfly quilt. Does my list over there have a butterfly quilt on it? No, it doesn't. I don't even know where it's at. I have got to go over there and put butterfly quilt on there, and so then I'll probably find something over there to do, and then I'll never get back over here again. It's just nuts. And then here's my pajama pattern, and I want to make more pajamas because we're going on that trip with our RV to be with a bunch of other people that have RVs. And I thought, you know, if anybody comes over and they see me in my pajamas, I have to have a different pair every day, right? Isn't life crazy? Anyway, and have you seen my mom and dad lately? Aren't they cute? Aren't they super cute? Richard and Marie. He grew up a poor farm boy. The whole bunch of brothers and sisters. His mom had 12 kids. 5 of them died. And my mother grew up only child in a very big house in Boston with well-to-do parents. So they're about as opposite as you can get. But super cute. So that's my little Tuesday snippet. I gave myself a haircut this morning, if my hair looks a little shaved. I need to dye it again, but I'm so nervous about dyeing it. My sister, I have 2 sisters. Janice is 1 year younger, Judy's 3 years younger. Well, Janice lives in Tulsa. She's married to a preacher, and she is an interior designer, and she's extremely good at it. And she had let her hair, she's got Viv hair. You know my friend Viv. She just got tons of hair, tons. And she even goes and she has it thinned. So she let her hair go all gray. Well, recently she saw a picture of herself somebody took and she said, oh, I just look horrible. So she made her hair all dark brown again. And so when I dyed mine recently, she said, you need to make your hair darker to go with your eyebrows. So her being really smart with interior design and stuff, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should. So if you see me in a few days with real dark hair, don't say, you look horrible. Be kind. Because I bought the same exact color that she used, and so I'm getting ready to use it, and it looks very dark. We shall see. You know, mine, I cut my hair so much because I keep it short. She has real long hair. She has long hair down to here. And so her hair dye stays on. I just cut all mine off. So I figure if it looks too bad, I may just, my hairstyle may be getting shorter and shorter. Oh, I have to tell you something real quick before I go. The dolls. A lot of you said you'd like to do that. I'd like to do it too. I really would. Oh my gosh, what a way to use up your scraps. And what a way to use up all of these layer cakes. Oh, my goodness, my goodness. So I asked my friend Sherry Marie where you send the stuff. Because you saw in the pictures that I showed you, they asked for you to send trims and zippers and buttons and different things like that. And, but they don't tell you where to send it to. And I asked her, and she said she didn't know either. So she said everything's kind of super, super quiet and private because they don't want anybody to know where these girls are. Obviously, the person that abused these girls wants them back. So if I find out more, I'll let you know. But otherwise, if you want to send my friend Sherry some things, you just email me like I said, and I will give you her address. And tell me what you want to send. Show me a picture of it. Show me a picture of you. Show me a picture of what you want to send. I need to know. She said, make sure they're not some axe murderer, just escaped thing. That's my interpretation. And we can use her address. All right. I gotta go. So you know how I said I was going to look for my butterfly quilt, right? You see, I've been out in the attic. Fortunately, it's a beautiful day. I've been in both of the big closets in the other room. I'm looking everywhere. I have spent, 100 hours, maybe more, on that butterfly quilt. It's applique. And I spent months working on it. And I can't find it, but look what I found. Oh my goodness. I have so many quilt kits that I have bought. I cannot buy any more quilt patterns or quilt kits until I catch up. But look at that. It's all done. It's ready to quilt. What is wrong with my brain? And where? Oh, where? Oh, where? You see, sewing out here. Here's the wildflower quilt. It was embroidery designs. And out here is my attic. And, oh my, look here. There's a magic cube quilt. A beautiful quilt called Joy. I didn't name it. Flower child quilt. Purse patterns. This is just fabric, blacks and whites. Backing. All backings. This is all my AccuQuilt Go stuff. And then over here is a whole bunch of backing fabrics. And up here is my fried chicken quilt. Oh, I definitely want to make it. It is the most hilarious quilt. In the other room, I found my penguin quilt. Gorgeous quilt, like the turtles. Same lady that did the turtles. Up here, I've got some leftovers. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And everything in the world except, oh, here's all my stuffing. That's not what it's called. I can't remember. Batting. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And then I have overflow fabric in that box. More fabric in that box. No, that box right there is leftovers. So I've been looking. This is the first place I looked, was in this closet. Because the last time I was doing this butterfly quilt, it was on this bed. And I could not see it. I thought it would be much bigger than it is. It was underneath a box completely covered up by that box. And in the box is that stuff you put in your printer and you print pictures on it, that picture fabric. Oh, I'm just shocked. I thought this would be much bigger, and it is bigger. So this is the butterfly quilt. Now the butterflies are just loose. They're just held on with pins here and there. Oh, I've got caterpillars, and they got kind of messed up in the box. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I can show this to you without bringing the camera over here. Oh my goodness. I found a coat I made. Look at that. All these butterflies. Have the iron-on steam-a-seam. But I haven't ironed any of them down because I wanted the butterflies to be flying all different ways and directions and stuff. I think it might be time to iron them down. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours. I mean, I got on the internet and I found butterflies from different countries. They aren't in Darcy's book. Some of these are in Darcy's book, but I decided to look for my own butterflies and make up my own. So, thank God I found that. I wish I hadn't folded it all up. I probably was having company and had to put it away, would be my guess. Oh, now see, you saw the last thing that I supposedly organized. That was it. Was it just one thing or was it two? And so now I want to stop everything else I'm doing and I want to put these butterflies down and make more butterflies. So that's my day-to-day snippet life. You can expect me every day to just come up with some crazy thing out of nowhere. Alright, end of this clip. So I couldn't stand my butterflies all bent up, so I put it on my board. Can you see the caterpillars? There's a caterpillar here, and a caterpillar here, and a caterpillar here. And here's a caterpillar, he's all wrinkled up. He's a caterpillar. And up here's a caterpillar. And the caterpillars are in Darcy's book. There's a caterpillar. Aren't they cute? So now you can sort of see my beautiful butterflies better. This is a crazy looking one here. And I keep thinking, oh my God, that's horrible. So this is the pattern. It's like the what else did I do of hers? The chickens, were the chickens hers? No, the chickens weren't hers. I did something of hers because I know I've given you the book a whole bunch of times. What else? Was it cats? No. My memory. I did something of hers. I don't remember right now what it was. Y'all probably, it's the owls, ding-a-ling. Yes, it's the owls. It's Outstanding Owls. And this is how her patterns are. They're books, see. And this is Butterfly Dance. And this is the quilt she made. So you can see how different my quilt is going to be. And she has her butterflies flying all over the place in different directions too. So, but I didn't like the brown backgrounds. I just wanted mine to be butterflies, and I didn't do these 4 patches, so mine's just different. And then she gives you several different quilts to make, and then she gives you, see there's the caterpillars. She gives you the caterpillars, and then she gives you the different butterflies. See, look at this crazy one. And so some of mine are these. I did use some of these in my quilt. There's that crazy one. This actually is in her book. That one right there. And every time I look at it, I think that's the craziest looking butterfly. But that's it. And it's called the Paradise Birdwing Butterfly. She tells you the name. This is a moth, great peacock moth. And then you can look them up on the internet and see if they're real. Let me see where she put that crazy looking one. I might take that out. I'm not sure even. Oh, here he is. She did him in blue. That's a lot prettier in blue. I think mine's kind of ugly. I might redo that one. He's pretty in blue. Oh, look at this pretty one here. Isn't this a pretty one? This is pretty. This is pretty. Ah, I just love these butterflies. Obviously, or I wouldn't be making the quilt. Hello. So I wanted to show you why it takes me forever to make a quilt. So here's the book. And here's the butterfly. See the butterfly? It's called the Paradise Birdwing Butterfly. So I go on the internet and I look it up in real life. I was wondering Why, my butterfly looks so weird with green and black wings. And her butterfly, which is right here, is blue. Why is mine so weird looking? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I went online and I looked up the real butterfly. See? So I've decided I'm still going to redo mine because I want to make it more the same shapes as the real one. Instead of her shapes, which is simplified, which is what I used, to me that looks like a giant bow. So I want to make mine be more like the real deal. So I'm going to start over and then I'll show you what he looks like when I get done. So now I'm going to show you how my brain is functioning at the moment and why it takes me days to make one butterfly. I have her pattern and I could just go by it, but my lightning fast mind is saying, you have a scan and cut now. You didn't have one then. But the butterfly's all together. The scan and cut has to have separate, body separate, wings separate. So the good thing is I only need half the butterfly, then I can just cut him out twice. And since I don't like her drawing of it, because it's too simplified, this is just my plan. It may not work out at all. I'm going to put some removable tape on here and tape this down. And then I'm going to take a pencil. Now you have to have a pretty dark image to do this. I could do it in Photoshop, maybe. I don't think I know how to draw in Photoshop. There's some way you can draw with the tablet. And I actually have something I bought years ago. It's a little thing that you can draw on. But for now, we're just going to do it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this wing on the outside, going by my picture of the real deal, see? And so I'm going to draw the outside, which looks pretty good. It looks a little wavier to me. A little wavier, yeah, like that. Joy, why do you make everything so difficult? I don't know, but I do. If I was an artist, which I'm not at all, but I'm a good copier. Okay, so to me, the outside of his wing is not just a straight hard line, it's kind of a wiggly thing. And so that's the way I'm making mine. And then the top part of his wing is kind of narrow, and then it comes down kind of wavy into there, and over to here, and up here, and up here, and down there. Yeah. Now see, I wouldn't want to cut this out myself, but the scan and cut can cut it out perfect, see? And so now the bottom, I'm going to come up and in and up and tip, 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 and down and wiggle, 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 and over. And so see, it starts out as her pattern, but it really ends up as my pattern. So let me show you. See how mine is a little wigglier and wavier and drawn a little different? And so I need 2 of those. And then the inside part is going to be more yellowy this time. Here it's very, very green. I'm going to make it more yellowy, and I'm going to make the black still real black. And so that'll be both wings. And so now I'll draw his body. You got to have a body. You do his antlers. Are they called antlers? I don't think they're called antlers, Joy. Isn't that a deer? My butterflies have antlers. I caught a 6-point butterfly today, honey. Okay, so we're going to draw the body. Kind of fun when you get old and you get your words all mixed up. Sometimes it's just funny. And your antlers you put on after you get his body on. Okay? So there's his body. Same as hers. Didn't change the body. So now I'm going to do the bottom wing. And it looks like it has more of a curlicue on the bottom, but that's okay. The body looks very different. It's actually got a big X on the belly. I like to put a big X on mine. Don't look at this. See? Show us the picture, Joy. So I have a left and a right wing, 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 and one body for the middle. So I'm going to go over to my printer and I'm going to print all these out on a piece of paper. Then I'm going to scan them in my scan and cut. Scan and cut. Let's go do it. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you scan and cut. Here we are. So here we are. Here are all my pieces. Here's the scanning mat. There's the pieces that I drew. I doubled the wings, and I'm just doing one body. So I have two of all the wings and one of the body. So now I have to figure out where I want to put my fabric. And I don't think I want to put it down on this super sticky fabric sheet. I have not had good luck with that sheet. I think I usually use a standard mat for this. You know, you get away from it. If you don't do it every day, it's like the embroidery machine, it's like anything. If you don't do it for a while, you forget. Now, I keep all my things lined up over here. You know what? I bet that low tack mat could work. It's way too long. But my low tack mat's brand new, and I bought it for some reason. They all come with these plastic covers, which are kind of a pain. Yeah, so this is just light matte. So what you do is, I've got the Heat and Bond Light, which I don't like, but since I bought it, I'm going to use it. The Heat and Bond Light, I'm going to take off the paper, and I'm going to put the Heat and Bond part down. I'm putting it down, Heat and Bond first. Now that's not what you're going to learn from anyone else. But that's how I'm doing it. So it's going to cut directly on the fabric. Usually they tell you to put the fabric down first and keep this paper on and cut it with the paper on top. I had terrible, terrible happenings with that. And the paper would just go like this and get all crunched up. We're not doing it that way. Now this may not turn out either, but we'll see. I spend more time fixing and relearning and so many things. And so this is for his body right there. That's for his body. That's for his black parts. And then this is for his yellow parts. The butterfly. You know, I already made him once and I'm starting all over. That's why it takes me forever and ever to make a quilt. So I'm going to put those yellow parts down there. So I'm fixing to read this mat. I'm fixing to read it. So I'm going to say, please select. What do I want to do? I want to cut. Now, when you're doing vinyl, you do a half cut. You only cut halfway through because you just want to cut through the vinyl, not the mat that the vinyl's on. But in paper, you want to cut all the way through. So we're not going to have half cut on here. We're turning the half cut off. Okay? So now we want to cut a little sample and see if this is going to work at all. So we want to put this in. You've got to feed it in first. First you got to feed it so it knows there's a mat there. Alright, so that's not going to cut anything or do anything. It's just going to put the mat in. It's just going to grab it. Okay, the mat is grabbed. So now I want to scan the mat. So I'm going to come back here to where you're editing, and I am going to scan this mat. See, by the time an hour's up, I'll remember all the stuff you're supposed to do and not do on this. But right now, I'm just going by, maybe I remember it and maybe I don't. All right, let's see. Okay, there it is. So what do you do that for? You do that so this cutter can see where your material's at. See, here's my yellow, here's my black, and here's my yellow. So now I can point on these little pictures, and I can make sure all the wings are on the yellow, the black wings are on the black, and the head and the body are on the light yellow. I'll be back. I tested a little baby triangle, and at first it didn't cut very good, so I increased the cut pressure to 3. You're not supposed to have to do that with these new machines, but you still do. So now it's cutting out everything. We'll see how it does. It says it's going to take 3 minutes, is what it says. We'll see. It seems to be doing a good job. I've got it on the low tack mat, the sticky stuff down, as I said. We'll see if this butterfly looks any better than my first butterfly. If my first butterfly looks better, then we'll keep it. But I think this one will look better, unless I miscalculated my calculations. Oh my goodness. Jerry and I were watching, I don't know if you can see me at all. Jerry and I were watching this thing on geniuses. I think they called them savants. Geniuses. Oh, there's this girl. I'll have to look her up. Is her name Akani? Akani, I think is her name. She's been an amazing artist since she was 4. She says that she walked with God, and God gave her images to paint. Her paintings are just beyond anything I've ever seen, or Jerry. It's like a real person. She did an image of herself, a reflection of herself, and it's like it's her. It's like it's her face, her fingers, her eyes. It's like it's her and not even a painting. Amazing. So we watched her, and then some other guy could memorize 5,000 encyclopedias, but he couldn't dress himself. Some little kid was a major music player person from like when he was 4 years old. And somebody else, I think it was a Asian child, was a chemistry genius, and was working with advanced college people with chemistry, and he was answering all of their questions. It was just unbelievable. How smart. You know, one of the mothers said, you know, a child can learn anything. They have an amazing brain. You know, it's a blank board. And whatever you fill it up with, they will remember, they will keep, they will know. And so they started teaching this kid this chemistry stuff like when he was 2 or 3, or the little kid at the music, they started playing it from the womb. It was really interesting. Okay, it has finished. Let's see what we've got to work with here, if anything. Let's try the yellow and see what we have. Look at that. See? And here's all of this, the heat and bond on the back. Came up, you saw how easy it came up. Came up real easy, and there's all my yellow wings. Let's see what the black has. All right, there's the background of the wings and the background of the wings. And up here is this fellow's body. No antennas, or antlers, however you want to call them. And here's the cuts. Low tack mat, heat and bond, or steam a seam, 2 light, heat and bond light, remember the light part, down. Cut perfect. Alright, let's look at the original, whatever the heck kind of butterfly he is. Stay up there, boy. And now my new one. This is the new one. Remember, this has that heat and bond on the back. So that's the original. Here's the original one, which I decided looked terrible. He's called a bird wing butterfly, obviously. But I did not like his wings, and that's the way she drew them. But this is the way I did it. So, just pretend like you like my way better, okay? I remember I I had a calendar or something that had butterflies on it. And I remember cutting them out, so when I came back to do my butterfly quilt, I would have these to use. They're not in her book. They're just butterflies from a calendar. So check this out. Won't that be fun to copy? I'll have to size it, of course. So there's that, and there's this. And ooh, here's a pretty one. This one I think is already up there. I think this one might be this one. But I can do him in a different color. Isn't he fancy? Fancy pants. And check this one out. Man alive. He's really... Oh, that's not his curly green tail. That's a leaf. I thought that was his curly green tail. That's a nice one. See, wasn't I smart to keep these out of a calendar? So I have all of these showing the pretty, pretty colors, and I'm using my box of batiks to make these with. So, if anybody's interested, it's way fun. Even though it's not my original idea. Here's another one where I copied an actual butterfly. Let me see if he's up there. Are you up here? Yes. Here he is, right here. He is in her book, but I copied an actual butterfly. I think he's a little small. I might have to remake him a little bigger. But she has some big, some little in her book. But this is an actual one. And then that's my guy up there. His head and his body you can hardly even see. So see? Isn't this fun? What did I start out this day doing? Wasn't I supposed to be cleaning something or organizing something? This is my everyday life. 4 o'clock update. You see why it takes me forever to make a quilt. I cut out one of my calendar butterflies. I took a picture of it with my phone. Then I sent it from my phone to my email. Then I went to my desktop and I opened the email and I downloaded this butterfly. Then I opened up Photoshop. I think it's number 14 I've got on that computer. And I opened up that butterfly picture from my downloads. Then I made that butterfly picture 7.5 inches by whatever else it came up to be to keep it the same size. Then I drew around it with the paintbrush. Okay? Have I ever done this before? No. Do you know a better way? If you do, please tell me. Here's the butterfly body right there. And this should all be the right size. When I get done with this, he ought to be 7.5 inches wide and 5 inches tall, something like that. We shall see. This is upper wing, his lower wings, the colors that go inside his wings, the polka dots, and his body. Okay, everyone, it's Wednesday, almost 4 o'clock. I have worked most of today and yesterday afternoon on 2 butterflies, believe it or not. So I just wanted to show you this one that I've been trying to do. I would pick the most complicated one. So here's the picture. I'm not going to put them together because they don't look that much alike. But there is my version right up there. That's my version, a little bit crooked. Now you know, all of their antenna will be put on when I sew each of these. I have to applique, I have to sew around all of these butterflies. So there's going to be 30 butterflies I've got to sew around. So that's this one from my calendar. And then you saw me yesterday make this one. Now instead of being organized, everything's a worse mess than it was before. There's the desk that I started to organize yesterday. I got the quilt manual off of it, you know, there's pictures of my quilts, and I picked up the butterfly book, and that's where that ended. And oh my heavens. This is always have a Goodwill bag that I'm putting things in all the time. But look in here. I have all my batiks out to make butterflies. They were in a big plastic case somewhere. I don't know where it went to. But so then when I do this, I don't want to keep working on the floor, so then I bring my little portable table out. So I just washed the top of it off, and I'm going to arrange all of these batiks on it. And so I've decided maybe I'll make one butterfly a week and keep that up in the other room on that flannel. And maybe I'll make one butterfly a week and eventually get this quilt done. But the good news is my bow quilt is downstairs in the living room, and I've got about a fourth of it bound. I'm sewing it by hand, binding on the back. Why don't you look at us? Because I look terrible today and I don't like what I have on. So I'm going to say goodbye, and you can look at my heart quilt. All right, this is almost an hour long, and so I'm going to quit this snippet video right now. And tomorrow's my sew-along day with Philly, so I'll probably be back tomorrow and say hi. But bye for now.